Alright, so those beats are all well and good, but you want to do something crazy, cool. Like that, right? Well, probably won't sound quite like that, but we will be learning some tips, some basics of filling in the straight eighth feel, and getting good with that kind of stuff. So your fills are kind of what they can sometimes make or break you as a drummer. The biggest thing to remember is just keep them simple, at least to start, especially if you're playing in like a band, like a school band setting, or like with other people, because if you try to do too much and you screw up, then they'll get mad at you, and yeah, they might not get mad at you, but they just keep everything in time, because really they're just relying on you to stay in time. So if you do some really weird, crazy fill and they all lose the beat, it's all coming back to you. So what you want to do first is just know what you're working with. Like, it helps to know the song you're playing, what's going to fit in, what's not, and just find ways to incorporate that. Going along with the sort of role of a drummer thing is, you don't want to be taking fills like every 4 bars, every 2 bars. You sort of want to save them. You can sort of when you sense the intensity of the song building, you want to play that at the end of that part just to release all of it. To keep it simple, there's a whole lot you can do with just your bass drum, snare, and hi-hat. You don't need to use the toms for all the fills. And make sure you're always keeping you don't go over, like your fills don't last too long. Make sure you're filling up the right amount of space. So yeah, so here's a good way to practice it. I'm sure you guys, in the music you listen to, you probably hear drum fills sometimes. You have some ideas of what you want them to sound like. I'll just show you guys ways to practice. Play like 3 bars of your straight eighth rock beat, and then go right into a fill from there. Crash, back in your beat, another 3 bars. So like this. That gives you the idea. What was the other thing I was going to say? Don't try to do things that you're not comfortable with. Like when you're in a group setting, that's one thing to work on at home, hearing lessons. I mean, to sort of build that confidence up, so then you can do it in like a real setting. Some things that you can add to your fills to make them sound cooler, unique. First, space. So like, for example, like, you don't have to be playing straight through your whole fill. You can leave some open space, and it can make it sound really, I don't know, intense, builds up. So here, like this. I just sort of like dropped the beat for a second, waited, counted it off in my head, and then came back in with the rest of the fill. Another thing is, since fills are usually right at the end as something's building up, play off that. So like, really simple way, here's a really basic fill to just sort of help with that build up. Probably noticed, like, well, as you saw there, just start really quiet on your tom, your snare, and your bass drum, all 3 at once. So playing 8th notes, going from quiet to loud, and then finishing with a simple crash. Either one works, but that's just a good way to release all the energy you've built up in your fill and get back to the beat. So I guess I'll show you. Earlier I was saying how you can do so much with just your bass, snare, and hi-hat. So I guess I'll show you guys what I'm talking about there. So you're playing your beat. So just like that, that's three components of the drum set that I'm using, and you can get a lot of sound out of them. That's the other thing though, like, you, sometimes as a young drummer, when you're not too confident in your left hand yet, you tend to just do fills with you never move your left hand off the snare drum, and you only move your right hand around, so like, that fill sounded cool, but my left hand never left the snare drum, and the problem with that is it limits yourself. You want to be able to eventually do more, and if you're afraid to move your left hand off the snare drum, you might not get there. So that's one thing you just gotta work on. Once you build up coordination in your left hand, it could happen naturally. So like you can do, but once you do, you can do much more. Like, so I'll show you guys an example of that. So. You see, once you build up coordination in the left hand, you can move it around the drum. Just coordination exercises help that. We'll get into that stuff later. I can give you guys some stuff if you want to improve on that. But that's about it for filling. A lot of it is just creativity and coming up with stuff on the spot. All the fills I just did for you there were just things that I just played on a whim. I didn't really think about it before. Again, that could take some time to get to that point. You might want to plan out, if you do something cool that you like, write it down, remember it, whatever it is. That way you can work on it, come up with some variations. If you want to, if you want some help with it, you can bring it in and I'll help you with it. But yeah, I mean, again, fills are kind of your time as a drummer to show off, almost, and just do something cool that makes the audience or whoever you're playing for go, he or she is a good drummer, right? So work on it. Again, this is just sort of, as long as you can play time, you can do a lot as a drummer, but fills are just sort of extra. Makes you sound better, makes you sound, I don't know, more professional, I guess. But that's only if you pull them off. If you go over time, if you don't play it perfectly in time, there's a lot of guidelines there. So make sure you guys know what you're doing, and you'll be in good shape. See you guys next time.